Howdy friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a new best of 5 between in the bottom right spawning as our blue Zerg player playing for Team Liquid. It is Laser. And in the top left as our red Terran player playing for the Rebellion of Shopify. It is ByuN's. As we see SCVs moving down, that can only mean one thing. Well, it can mean very many things actually, but when it's ByuN's, it usually just means a single thing, and that's going to be barracks on the low ground. That's indeed what we're seeing. Now, there's many different types of follow-ups that ByuN's does play from this, but as we're not seeing a second cast, most likely it's going to be an initial 2 Rex Reaper, 3 Reapers being sent out across the map into whatever the heck he wants to follow up with. Now, I think a lot of people have kind of speculated about this build order, wondered how good it is, how bad it is, you know, how powerful it is, what the upsides, what the downsides are. So let's actually have a look at it. So one of the really cool things about this particular build order is that it doesn't require a scout. Now, what do I mean with this? Is usually in the Terran versus Zerg matchup, Terran is forced to send out an SCV scout in case the opponent opens up with an early pull. But because there is a full wall and there are basically constantly units being produced, you have a quick scout, you have constant Reaper production, a pull first, a Ling run by cannot hurt. This means that you save a decent chunk of minerals, and as a result, despite getting a second barracks and a second depot before the CC goes down at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, a standard CC goes down at about 140, 138-ish, so this is a delay on the command center of about 32 seconds. Now, that is equal to about 2.8 SCVs. So ByuN's is cutting 2.8 SCVs in his build order. He's delaying his second gas as well most of the time. But there's very many different follow-ups from this. So if he kills basically any amount of workers, like 2 workers here, and forces out another pair of Lings, I think the economical side of this has already been justified at this point. We've seen Zerg players also feeling like they're forced to cancel their third base or delay their third base. It's not going to be the case here. But yeah, this is something to keep in mind here, is that right now, I think economically, this build order has already been justified. And he's continuing on as well. More Lings are being produced. Worker count is 24 to 22. One of the big perks of this build order for the Terran is that they have a major asset in that second barracks, and that scout denial is extremely easy to achieve, as you just can start producing Marines straight after. So, scouting difficult for the Zerg, triple CC behind this. There are multiple follow-ups that ByuN's uses, as I mentioned. He often goes for 3 Rex pressure, he'll often go for 4 Rex pressure. This time it's going to be a 2 Rex into a 3rd CC into a factory. So, more of a standard 2-on-1 type of follow-up. Brings the Reapers back home, keeps them alive. Let's take a look at the units lost. We see 325 resources lost on the side of Laser, and we see 0 resources lost on the side of ByuN's. Now, the one major disadvantage that ByuN's does have with this build order is that he doesn't have cars. And if he wants cars, it's difficult to get them. It takes a while, basically. So he doesn't have the map control. He doesn't have the constant pressure. That means that there's long periods in time in which Laser, or a Zerg in general, is allowed to spread creep across the map, is allowed to drone up. But it's difficult for the Zerg to know when to stop droning, because there's constant Marines patrolling on edges, standing around, waiting to deny a scout. I almost wonder if getting Overlord speed is worth it versus something like this. It really does feel like it might be okay to play. Now, I'm not quite sure how big the economical impact of Overlord speed would be, but it really does feel like it might be worthwhile. Another thing that Zergs could, of course, try to play is just completely skipping Link speed and straight up opening up with Roaches instead, saving a bit of money there initially and then going for a very powerful Roach defense. But yeah, everything has its downside, especially because ByuN's has so many different follow-ups. He can play 2 base, he can play 3 base, he's played 3 Rex Reaper as well, rather than just 2 Rex. So then, yeah, if you're responding incorrectly in the early game, Zergs often just end up dying. A couple of creep tumors are being taken out here as 16 more Lings are on the way. Reapers move forward. Combat shield hasn't finished yet. These Lings are coming in for a surround, or at least a bit of a flank. Reapers will spot them, as this army is going to find its way back home, most likely. Combat shield is a little bit exposed. Could still be cancelled here. but I don't think it will. Lynx are just kind of sharking around now, looking for something, but I do believe that Elaser is slightly behind in this game. Worker count is even, Marine count is very high, upgrades very favorable for ByuN. Lair was late as well, let's not forget about that. Usually Zerg makes a decision between one of two things. They say, hey, either I want a really quick lair so I can have Baneling speed before the first 2 medevacts hit, or I want to get 2 Evo chambers so I have quick upgrades, and once the first major 1-1 push hits, perhaps with tanks, I can have my own 1-1 as well. Yes, I might not have Baneling speed quite yet, or maybe you do at that point already, but you basically give up a little bit of safety in the early game with that faster Baneling speed. By giving up the faster Baneling speed and having quicker upgrades. Right now, Elaser has neither of these things. This is not a fast layer, and this is not fast double Evo. It's not quick tech either. It's not like he's rushing into Mutas here. If this is rushing into Mutas, he's going to be about a minute and a half too late with those Mutas. Usually Mutas pop at 7 minutes and 45 seconds. This Baneling production has really kind of limited him in what he can pull off here. And despite the supplies looking equal, the fact that the upgrades are this far in favor of ByuN, and the fact that Baneling speed isn't done yet, yeah, these are major downsides here. 60 drones versus 60 workers. ByuN is already adding 3 more barracks as well, so it's going to be going up to 8 racks here. Very classic build order. Popular on Neo Humanity. There's lots of good tank positions as well. This one comes to mind over here. Makes it really difficult to hold that fort base at times. 1-1 is about to finish up, but isn't quite done yet, as one Marine gets Kerrigan behind. Will redrop towards the watchtower, as medevac 3 and 4 will pop out over here. It's important for Elaser to scout what is going on, as he probably would not want to go into like a 90 drone type of situation at this point. He's spending his money beautifully here, by the way. Spreading creep kind of well too. Ideally gets past his watchtower, up this cliff a little bit, makes it easier to deny positions that will be hard to break later on. Ooh, it's going for reactors. This is a really uncommon way to play the 8 racks. So one of the most common ways to play the 8 racks is to add... Oh, hold that thought, as his fort base most likely is going to get cancelled here. Do we get the cancel? Do we get the cancel? Yep, cancel achieved. Now Marines are going to try and take out a bunch of these links and will partially succeed. As the push is now truly starting. Tanks made their way into some solid positions. Hydra then on the way. What I was gonna say is that usually you produce these 3 barracks just to get like 2 extra waves of Marines in, naked, without a tech lab, and then you push very hard, very quickly. The reactors show that ByuN doesn't want this push to hit the hardest that it can right now. He wants it to hit the hardest in about a minute and a half from now, as he's gonna get cleaned up here, well, pretty much completely. Tanks will at least... Tank count gets reset, which is huge. It's just 56 Marines right now against Ling Bane, but there is a major supply advantage for the Terran player at the moment, which is kind of interesting. 15 Marines at a time. Of course, there's still one the one barracks with the tech lab on it. Otherwise, it would be 16 Marines at a time. These are insane amounts of units, but on creep against Banelings, I'd much rather have some tanks added in here rather than having this many Marines. Yes, the damage output is going to be phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but if the Baneling count manages to grow to 40, 45, 50, this really could be an issue for ByuN. He does have a single tank. Look at his pre-split as well, as the tank in the back is getting a couple of big pot shots in here. 10 kills already on this bad boy. Stim not activated yet. Medevac count is very low. Here comes the massive Stim. I don't think there's enough heal to really take care of all of these Marines. But ByuN thinks different, perhaps. Wants to fight pre-2-2 as well, which is surprising. Here we go on creep against Ling Bane. Supply still very favorable for ByuN, as he believes that he can just move command onto the creep, A-move his opponent right here. Second tank shows up as well, and I think ByuN might just be right. He's up 2 upgrades at this point. GG gets called as ByuN wins game number 1 in less than 10 minutes with an absolutely insane Marine count. ByuN Alpha makes it look so ridiculously easy, that type of game as well. It's like, I know if you give me those 75 Marines. Like, I look at it from my perspective, you know? I see 75 Marines and I see 5 Banelings, and I start pooping my pants because I know I'm gonna lose every single Marine. He looks at it as like, 75 Marines is a lot of DPS. What if I just stand there and shoot? I take a couple of hits to the face. How bad can it be? It was because it was a big Baneling count. It was 30 Banes. It's not quite the 40, 45, 50 that I was hoping for that Elaser could get to before that push kind of hits. But supply doesn't always tell the entire story in those cases, right? If you have an army, a Terran army that is 160 supply and has 7 tanks in it, that's significantly stronger than a 160 supply Terran army that has just pure Marine. And sure, the Marines are still going to be very strong, don't get me wrong. Marines are a fantastic unit, but yeah, it's different. Wait, what is this? Went into the main base here. Freaking ByuN, man. This guy has no chill at all. This time around is actually opening up with that 3-Rex Reaper that I mentioned in the last game. So he's gonna start showing off his Reaper control is inhuman. It is actually supernatural. There used to be this show called Supernatural. I think it was about zombies or vampires or something. This show should have just been ByuN showing off his Reaper micro. Like 9 seasons straight. One of the guys in my high school class was super into Supernatural. Like a huge Supernatural. I remember him telling me about it quite a bit. I just can't remember. I feel like it was like Twilight, but a TV show. But then slightly better is what he... Well, I'm not sure if that's what he would call it, but that's kind of the vibe I got from it. This would have been like Supernatural would have had a 10 on IMDb. If it was just us watching ByuN micro. It is ridiculous. What has he lost? Nothing. What has he killed? 350 minerals worth of crap. Clear a creep tumor there. Now, for the average Terran player, they look at this situation and say to themselves, oh, speed is finished. It's over. You know, the story has now officially ended. For ByuN, it just begins. You know, ByuN looks at this situation and says, wait, it's over? What are you on about? Now it's like he's looking for the links. He's freaking... Other Terrans, they try to dodge the links. He's looking for it. He is the Ghostbuster. You know, people are afraid of ghosts. Oh, ByuN looks for him. Goes with his ghost shooting gun. Puts them in there. It's like more of a vacuum. I've never seen Ghostbusters either. I don't even know if it's a TV show or a movie. I feel like it might be both. I feel like people are going to be fairly upset about this that I haven't seen it or that I don't know about it. This is pop culture. Why don't you know about it? Look how many freaking Reapers he's building as well. Usually he stops after 9, but ByuN is not done yet. Where's these links at? I want to find some more of them. Oh, he's dead. Why is he taking 6? What? Is he gonna mass battle cruisers behind this? Like, what in the world is this? I've never seen this. He's taking 4 gases on 31 workers. He's hardly mining minerals. He has a plan, though. He has a plan. You know it. You can feel that he has a plan. Okay, there's going to be a reactor. Or sorry, a reactor. He's actually just messing Reapers. His plan is to go for a 16 Reaper drop. Except you can just fly in with the medevacs. This is not a real build, is it? He's just making it up as he goes. But I know he isn't. I know he isn't making this up as he goes, but it feels like it. There's no +1 with this. I always felt like +1 was pretty big on Reapers. I can't remember, but I remember it changes some type of interaction. I just don't quite recall which interaction it shows. Look how many Reapers! 15! How many links do you need for that? Is 44 links enough? Maybe not for being healed. It's gonna be Stim as a follow-up, 3rd CC. I want to say that ByuN is fairly dead here. Like, he's down an infinite amount of workers. 12 workers. His opponent, Elaser, is pretty ready for everything. What's the queen count, actually? That's important. 4 only. Oh, that's low. That is freaking low. This will all depend on whether this army kind of gets caught in like in a surround of sorts. So we immediately have Elaser sending this around for a run by. That seems a little bit optimistic, no? Is he really gonna go back home for this? I don't think it's necessary at all. Maybe he just wants to kill the links. I feel like he's wasting time, valuable time here that could be used on running around with 16 Reapers and 2 medevacs. Like, imagine you get in this position. Jump into the main, jump down, jump into the main, jump down, jump into the main, jump down. That'd be pretty sick. Don't think that's gonna happen, but it would be pretty sick. I think that's the position you're aiming for as well. 1-1 is on the way for ByuN. +1 Carapace is on the way here for Mikołaj Ogonowski, also known as Elaser. Gonna lose a drone. Okay, here we go. Reapers, grenades, Reapers, grenades, Reapers. How do 16 Reapers fit in 2 medevacs, by the way? Is that fair? I don't think that is. Look, he got in the position. All right. He's gonna... God. He's just throwing grenades. This is broken. This is not fair. He can throw more grenades now. No, he's gonna pick him up. Throw some grenades, pick him up. This is the ultimate evacuation. Throw a couple of grenades as he leaves. This is like farting as you leave the elevator. It's like, you're not gonna be caught in the damage anymore, but the people left behind surely will remember you. The Reapers aren't, you know, they're not embarrassed. They're not ashamed of what they did either. They stare at you. They stare at the rest of the elevator. They might even announce it. That was me. Lifting your right leg wasn't good enough to show quite that it was you. You also had to, you know, state it. This is good damage still. This is good damage. More and more links in production. Once again, Lair has been delayed until infinity and beyond. Buzz Lightyear would be proud. Where did these guys come from? What? What happened here? Oh, there was a Liberator. Didn't even catch that. Oh, there's also a fort base that's already mining. I didn't even catch that either. Oh, no! These guys, they're in the spot. Look at this. Puff, puff, puff. You can jump up. You can lift up. 1-1 is about to finish up. And these guys are banging. Absolutely. Poof. Pick up, drop. Pick up, drop. Here come the Marines. They've stimmed 4 times already before arriving. This is like running a marathon before your 5-kilometer personal best attempt. I think this game is over. Oh! Adios, Elaser. GG. 3 Gs for ByuN's because he is so ridiculously good. Oh my god. A ridiculous display of skill there. Now, I'm not quick usually to compare stuff with the greatest TV show that has ever been created, The Wire, but I do believe that ByuN's Reaper Micro is better than The Wire. Just the way he controls the unit. There's a beauty in there, you know, that the storytelling of The Wire just didn't quite live up to. Like, I feel personally invested in every single Reaper. I can feel it in the fiber of my being. It is ridiculous. This guy has skills for days. Also the hardest working pro gamer. I know people sometimes say this as a meme about people. He legitimately is. Okay, this guy plays. Like, he plays and plays and plays. He just plays all day. This guy's a freaking machine, okay? It's a playing machine. It's a gaming machine. He's the one true gamer. And he's not a basement dweller either, you know? He's a positive role model for other gamers. People look at ByuN's and think, wow, the guy has his life together. He looks cool. He dyes his hair sometimes. In the color ash gray, he told me. It's freaking expensive, by the way, to dye your hair. He told me the price of that. Holy crap. Glad I like my original color, because I can't afford that. I have to do a Raid Shadow Legends ad every other week to afford that type of hair. ByuN's, he wins online cups instead. Because he has the most insane practice schedule. Plays all day, then plays cups during the night. When does he sleep, you might ask? No one knows. It is rumored that ByuN's hasn't slept in months, but he doesn't need it. Just like plants don't sleep either. You know? They get energy from the sun. That's not quite how it works, but it's close. I wonder if he shoots the Urubus as well, or if he thinks that's inefficient. Sometimes in life, you just need to enjoy things, like shooting these Urubus on the map. I think it's one of my favorite critters to shoot as well. Come on, do it, ByuN's. Right click him. Hey, this Reaper's doing nothing right now. Any other self-respecting Terran would have shot that Urubu. ByuN's is a different beast. He's built different, as they say. No clue what this build is, but it looks like a 3-Rex into a triple CC, or a triple CC into 3-Rex, I guess. It's more accurate. So, a completely different build. Oh. Still the issue from before. Do we think there's an ETA? Or should we go to break? Starting in a few seconds. Dry. Dry. Maybe he's talking about his throat? I want some water. Or maybe he misspelled ready. Nah, less likely. Probably wanted some water. Okay, I can't hype up ByuN's for the first 3 minutes and 50 seconds for him to lose his Reaper like this. That is actually messed up. Not a What is this bunker doing here? Hello? I've never seen this in my life. What is this setup in general? This is something you would see in the battle reports they built for Wings of Liberty, you know? The bunker is a good structure to put on your wall. Here we see our developer Terran player building a bunker in the wall. I'm not sure if they knew how to wall yet in the pre-alpha of StarCraft 2. I was watching some of the old battle reports the other day. It was hilarious. Just how bad people are, but also because the game and the UI looked so bad, so different. Hurt my eyes. It's a miracle that I decided to switch to StarCraft 2, seeing at the battle reports. If I had watched the battle reports, I don't think I would have played StarCraft. Like, oh my god, this is not for me. Stick to Warcraft 3 until the game has 2 viewers. Funnily enough, Warcraft 3 actually kind of made a comeback. After I stopped playing, though. While I was playing, Warcraft 3 was freaking dead. I stopped playing and everyone started going at it again. Hate to see it. I'm the guy that leaves the party and then everyone keeps telling you how great the party started being after you left. Now, if this happens once, you just think you got unlucky. But if this consistently happens, you know, it's not just you who's starting to realize. The other people also start to realize, and you might just not get invited to parties anymore. After all, the only way I was allowed in is if I dressed up as a clown and pretended I wasn't there. Who's the clown? Oh, we don't know. Just hired him. And, you know, 1 or 2 people who knew me knew I was there. The vibes were very different without me around. Always wondered why that was. Probably the fact that I would always pee myself after 2 beers didn't help. But that couldn't have such a massive impact. Oh well, enough about high school. Let's take a look at this push here. This is a 3 Rex stim combat shield. That's a lot of queens, isn't it? Drop a nuke on this, the entirety of England is going to be mourning for the next 5 years. Centrifugal hooks starting now. It's, again, fairly late, I feel. Nah, maybe it's normal timing. Hatchery on the fort as well. This has been the least inspired I've seen ByuN's play so far in this entire series. 33 Marines, nothing else. It looks fun, but Marines are only as good as the amount of medevacts that are available to them. Because the power of the Marine isn't in the one fight. The power of the Marine is in killing 7 links and then picking up. Killing 10 links and then picking up. Killing 19 links and then picking up. Killing 4 queens and then picking up. Assassinating a hatchery and then picking up. You know, it's like, it is the ability to stay around after dealing damage and dealing more damage. Like, that's the real power. So these Marines, they're not going to be sent across the map because that will be a suicide mission. You only send as many Marines as you can pick up. That's always the case. It always has been the case. Well, that's not true. Terrans back in the day had absolutely no clue how to play this matchup. Well, they sent 33 Marines with half a medevac. Blasted by 2.5 Baneling, because back then also no one knew how to split. If you go back to like the early games of StarCraft 2, and what we thought was great splitting. It was like a guy with 7 APM splitting Marines off creep against slow Banelings. Oh, this guy is great. Like, no. Maybe you should have got Baneling speed and spread more than 2 creep tumors the entire game. Back in the day, if you had 5 creep tumors by the 10-minute mark, you are a brilliant creep spreader. A mechanical god, tasteless. It's actually true. To be fair, people also only built half a queen. It took Zergs years to realize how good the queen really was. Also, they got buffed massively. That really did help. What are these medevacs doing? Evacuating the Marines, that's what they're doing. This is a weird tank setup. I kind of dig it as well. Very far back. Oh, he later was not paying attention. Now he's kind of forced into this attack. Look at the target fire of these tanks. You can see him shift click it. Like some absolute machine. That's a... come on. That was fairly obvious, wasn't it? Who does he think he's playing against? ByuN's has like 7 eyes. Just like a spider. Spiders have... I'm not sure how many eyes a spider has, but it's a lot. Tanks in the back are dealing a lot of damage. Oh my god, E-Laser, he's floating a lot of cash over here. 13 Hydras on the way. He's going to manage to spend a bit of the cash. The supplies looked so even. I was like, man, that's crazy. ByuN's didn't look so hot in this game, but then I realized that E-Laser hadn't macroed in a while. Woo! These were splits. If this was the Marine split challenge, ByuN's would have, I think, failed because you lost the final Marine against the final Baneling. Or maybe because the final Baneling dies, it's okay. I can't quite recall. Actually, that might be the case. 2-2 is going to finish soon. There is a fort base out as well for our South Korean Terran here. I honestly dig his spot once again. Yes, he's down a little bit in supply, but he has tanks, he has Marines, he has 2-2. And all E-Laser really has is a bunch of money in the bank. And oh, he has a lot of Hydras as well. Oh, here we go. 2-2 finishes up just as this fight starts. Very unfortunate for E-Laser, who had no chance really to spot that. Bailing target fire. Is it good? Is it good? Well, it doesn't really try. So we'll never know. Creep spread has been diminished by a significant amount here. Hello? What are we doing here? I think he F2'd back home accidentally. Oh, that's the one Marine that gets left behind. Hate to see it. 5th base still not up here for E-Laser. 4th base goes down for ByuN's. I think E-Laser is all in here. I know this sounds stupid. Oh, no, wait, sorry. This is the 5th. This is supposed to be the 6th. I still believe that E-Laser is kind of all in here. He does not have a hive on the way. Doesn't have a whole lot of creep either. I feel like really the only way that E-Laser can win this right now is by killing his opponent in the next 2.5 minutes. Once 3-3 finishes, this game is going to be hell to play. Absolute hell to play. 3-3 Marines. And once again, by the way, rather than going for tech labs, pure Marine production. Look at that. Reactors as far as the eye can see. +2 vehicle weapons as well on the way. Puff! This is something I'm looking forward to. What is that? This suicide medevac. Had enough of healing the entire time. Wanted to see some action too. Flies into 12 Hydras. Immediately regrets the decision. Would love to see a 5th base here for ByuN's as well. Although I'm not saying that it's necessarily useful. What is this SCV doing? I've had it, guys! No, I haven't. Oh, turret. This is a run by and a half. No Banes though in there. It's not gonna succeed. Alright, this is the ultimate moment here for E-Laser. He has a huge bank, has an insane amount of Banes, and his upgrade just finished. It's now or never. It literally is now or never. Turrets are being constructed. Okay, this base is under some heavy pressure. This base also under some heavy pressure here. Marines moving forward. Tank count is only down to 4. That's a very low amount of tanks, actually. I guess that's the single factory alive. No, he has 2 factories. Just prefers Marines. You have the chance of a massive vehicle that can splash on Links and Banes, or the guy with the gun. You go for the guy with the gun. Are those splits good enough, though? Let's take a look at this tank fire. You see the shift clicks, you know? That pop, the little red line on those Banes. Beautiful stuff there out of ByuN's. He's so far forward with these Marines as well. He rallies more and more forward. Tanks are doing their job. As 20 more Links get produced. ByuN's forgets the micro there for a second and ends up losing a big chunk of his Marines. Has that quick reproduction. But is it going to be enough as E-Laser pushes forward, takes out another tank that brings the total amount of tanks down to 1. That is significantly less than you want. 40 Marines are out, 3-3 finishes up as well right about now. But this was a big blow to ByuN's tank count, to ByuN's economy, to ByuN's confidence in this game. Now the creep spread is still garbage. There's still no hive. Hell, we don't even have an infestation pit yet. So this is it. It's now or never still for E-Laser. Like, he needs to start pushing before that tank count stabilizes to a number that is more than 4. Scan. There we go. Yep. Fast, quick, solid. That is ByuN's for you. Sends out 3 medevacs with a crap ton of Marines. Is on 172 supply. There is a possibility that this army is going to get caught on the prowl. But it also might not. Snipes 2 changelings. Stim, 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 stim. Forgot the micro for a sec. 3-3 is helping out. A lot of these Marines will get picked up just in time, but this is the real issue. Well, actually, for Elaser, lol. Elaser getting completely blasted here. Still no 6th for Elaser. Still no high for Elaser. Has +2 melee. Has +2 range. 3-3 +2 though for the other party. Uh-oh. Third base in some trouble. ByuN doesn't really need to do anything though. Literally all ByuN needs to do is wait, get a 5th base, deny the opponent 6th, confirm that there is nothing going on the hive on the other side. Ooh, medevac count is falling a little bit low. Marine count at 82 here. Holy crap. These are big armies, you know? These are big freaking armies. Oop, oop, oop. Is that creep tumor in range? Felt like it was outside of the vision range, but Marines do know how to cheat. Puff, puff, puff. Bailing's trying to connect. Actually getting some decent connections as well as Elaser's supply is plummeting. But here come the cavalry. Arriving exactly when they need to. 6 base still not up here for the Zerg player. Monitor is black. Yeah, most monitors are black. Probably meant that the screen isn't working. This is a bad situation for ByuN. But the fact that his monitor is turning black every now and again is definitely not helping either. I'm not sure why he is here. I don't understand why he's here. I mean, he's winning, I guess. So that's fine. Okay, I said nothing. He's absolutely okay. Marine drop is doing a good job dying. As everything just fell. Now, there's basically no Banes remaining in this army. There's still a lot of cash for Elaser, though. I feel like he's been capable of tacking into high for the past 12 minutes. Just hasn't spent his money. I don't understand how these fights are still so darn close. Like 3-3, in my mind, is game ending. Like once these Marines have it, there's no Lurker, there's no 3-3 for the Zerg. Like these trades just keep getting better and better for Terran. 6th base still not up. 5th base is now trying to get up for the Terran. Terran actually, I think, lost that medevac for free. Supply plummeted quite a bit there. By about 10. Must be that medevac. Oh. Bane's being, well, gunned down for now. Bailing count is up to 11. This tank will fall. Really feels like ByuN needs to do some building here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This could be disastrous. That actually could be disastrous, these bailing mines. Gonna get a cheeky little scan over here. Tank siege is up. I think ByuN needs to do some tank building here. More tanks, less Marines. And freaking medevacs. There's 3 medevacs for 53 Marines. Every stim is pain. Every single stim here is pain. Oh, yes. Poof, poof. Hydras are being gunned down at a very high pace as a bailing landmine is going to connect with these Marines. And they can't stim anymore. Look at these guys. They've used too much drugs. They can barely walk. Tank in the back is helping out, but not quite enough. Oh my god, you can't be serious. ByuN throwing this game away, it feels like. Such a clean win for him. This orbital command over here. Why is this an orbital? What? Did he fly it? No. He constructed an orbital there. Again. Oh my god, another bailing net. Okay, this is it. Elaser. On layer tech. Destroying this 3-3R. I really feel like ByuN was too keen on ending the game here. I don't think he's aware of the fact that it's only a lair. If he knew that, I think he would have just sat back with like 10 tanks. Well, maybe get a Ghost Academy. I mean, why not? Like, Ghosts are powerful. I'd rather have 1 Ghost than 2 Marines, let me tell you that. I also rather have 2 Ghosts than 4 Marines. Could have gotten +3 vehicle weapons. Gotten Hellbats. With Blue Flame, one-shotting links. Brrr. That's power. GG gets called. Elaser wins this game in a, well, interesting fashion. So we'll be heading into game number 4. Now, if you thought that ByuN used all of his tricks, you were obviously wrong. Because ByuN has too many tricks. Some people have a bag of tricks. ByuN has a warehouse filled with tricks. Multiple warehouses. There are a lot of real estate just to store all of his tricks. It's a true story. Not many people are aware of that. But I am aware of that because I'm kind of close with the guy. So, you know. He once showed me. Not to show off, but I was like, man, where do you store all your tricks? Surely that bag that you're wearing is not enough. I said, no, it's not. Kevin. That is such a sick analysis out of you. Of course, this bag is not enough. This is a tiny bag. But you know how many tricks I have? Wait, let me show you something, my friend. And he showed me the warehouse. He's at warehouse in... One warehouse on every continent, in case he ever needs to go there, you know? And also just to, you know, to spread the risk. Or if something goes terribly wrong in one continent, he still has another warehouse filled with tricks. They're all labeled as well. 2010 to 2023. He sometimes uses old tricks, sometimes uses new tricks. But they're all tricks. Plenty of tricks. The trick that he's going to use here is jumping in the main with 4 Reapers. Ow! Losing a Reaper. Then jumping back in to finish what the 4th Reaper would have wanted these 3 Reapers to finish. Like some revenge plot in a movie. My son didn't die for nothing. I avenged you, my son. Follow-up pretty standard. 4 Reaper rather than 3. As you do want to make some good use of the barracks. Barracks is going to be used here as a scout, I guess. A scouting vessel. A slow vessel. This guy isn't quite sure what he wants. As he lands, squashes the queen. Adios, queen. That would be such a sick mechanic, honestly. You'd get like barracks harass. They're trying to land in here. Can a barracks land in there? No way, right? In between the mineral line? I don't think it's possible. Size-wise, I mean, it is 3x3, right? It should be possible. Put a barracks? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because you can build Evo chambers as well. Of course it's possible. 4 drones went down while I was wondering whether barracks would squash drones. In the hypothetical situation, or the hypothetical in which, you know, barracks could squash units, which would be cool. But it's not the actual case. Where are we at in this game? 38 workers to 33. We have a lot more drones on the way, and it's going to be a 2-1-1 type of follow-up with the starport already swapping over onto the factory right now. Factory lands. This is going to be a 2-base all-in, I think. I've seen this particular opener quite often out of ByuN, and very often it does kind of transition into a 2-base all-in. So I'd be surprised if that's not the case here. Now, of course, our good friend Elation should also be aware of that, as the 3rd barracks does indeed go down. Weird location, perhaps. Could maybe be because you want to swap a barracks with that with the starport. Or maybe you just wait until the 2 medevacs finish up and then you build the barracks on the reactor. I actually think that's what's going to happen here, isn't it? Yeah, that makes so much sense. I love that. It's going to build a new reactor with that starport, because you don't really have the cash to continuously build medevacs. It's also not so useful if you're only producing from 2 barracks. You just simply don't have enough marines to fill up the next 2 medevacs. You could just build another reactor with that bad boy. It's absolutely no problem. You can also just build a single medevac. It's also allowed. You know, it's completely fine. New tank should start ASAP though, if you're planning on doing some dedicated 2-base pressure. So far, not quite starting here. 2 medevacs heading in towards the main base. Take a first-person look here out of the laser. What are you doing, buddy? Macroing, that's what he's doing. Oh, there's a lot of use in my main base. I did not quite notice that. Overlord's getting sniped. This extractor is really taking a beating as well. ByuN, a true environmentalist, does not want people to use up the natural resources. You know why? Because he wants to use those natural resources to build more warehouses. To store all of his many tricks that he has. Double Evo chambers as well as a baneling nest on the way here. There's 2 tanks at home. Would love to see 3 tanks. And that dream is going to turn into reality very soon. This bad boy is only, what is it, 12 seconds away from finishing now. God, I freaking love StarCraft. CC on the high ground. High tier move as well. And this is basically a 2-base all-in, but with a 3rd base behind it. This is serious pressure, you know? Like, you look at this and you think to yourself, oh, this looks like a lot of marines and a lot of tanks. What does Elaser really have? The answer to that is freaking nothing, alright? Nothing. He has absolutely nothing. Whoop, tanks are shooting. Taking out a bunch of these links. Marines trying to get in there because there's not a single Bane here. The tanks are very useful, but not as useful as they usually would be, so losing them isn't the end of the world. If there were Banes here, this would be a lot bigger of a deal, as ByuN's is just stimming in, moving forward, taking out every single link that exists. How many transfuses do we have remaining? The answer is 0, and 0 is a very low number. So now 1 transfuse becomes available. Matter of fact, gets microed back. The control out of ByuN's has been nothing short but phenomenal. But E-Laser does survive. That is just a fact. That's what we care about here. Facts. Barracks 4 and 5 are on the way. E-Laser once again floating an astronomical amount of money. So, could become a venture capitalist with this type of cash laying around. It is. You want to make a new game? Sure. I still have 1k minerals in the bank. You need some gas? No problem. I'll load to that. Ooh, this is a nice run by. Great movement out of E-Laser. Moving in, leaving Banes at home. Sadly, no Baneling speed yet. 8 more Banes are coming in. Needs to buy a little bit of time, though, because these links need to return back home to come in for a flank. This base is toast. This base is toast. I think he should give it up, because without centrifugal hooks, this is not going to be a good fight. I mean, you give it up. You give it up. It's over. It's gone already. You don't have to do this. He is gonna do it, and actually manages to clean this up fairly nicely, beautifully. There's a new base up here already. We'll rebuild this bad boy too. E-Laser is up by about 20 supply. He's down in upgrades still. Liberators are being sent across the map now to harass, I guess. Let's follow the path of these bad boys. The Liberators. Sending a couple of drones to Zerg Heaven, if that were a thing. Zergs don't go to heaven. Zergs don't go anywhere. Pricks. Every last one. Come on, Mr. Drone. It is time to die. Nice stim as well over here. Cheeky little pickup. Into the main. Yeah. Can read this guy's mind. Poof. Quick pull away from E-Laser. Builds a new spore as well. These larvae are... well, not necessarily gonna get killed. Spore here is nice, but it's not gonna help out. Double medevac drops. Once again picking up. ByuN's somehow manages to even up the supply during all of this. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but it did happen. Continued harassment here. A couple more drones will fall. But also at the same time just taking out run-bys. I feel like E-Laser just hasn't mined or produced anything in the past 2 minutes. Constantly being harassed by Liberators, as well as this medevac drop, which now is partially getting cleaned up. What is this? Holy crap, these guys are excited to fight. Let's go! Stimming forward, that's the second stim. 11 drones going down somewhere else, somewhere here maybe. I have no clue what's kicking. A boom! That was all drones. 8 drone kills there on that bad boy. GG gets called as ByuN's wins this game. After seemingly failing that early game push. E-Laser in a great spot, but getting the win anyway. What a fantastic series this was. Actually fun to watch. And ByuN's is so much more fun to watch than these boring camping Terrans. ByuN's used to be one of them. But then he realized that the fans wanted aggression. And aggression he gave to us. What a guy. Alright, that is going to be it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed this video. As we put the score. No, the wrong score. The score in here, 3-1 in favor of ByuN's. Like and subscribe. That helps the channel grow to bigger numbers, which I like as well. And then I'll see all of you next time for more videos. Adios, my dear friends, and have a nice day.